Hey guys! Today I'm going to talk to you about my favorite jeans. These are my favorite jeans. My favorite genres, guys. And why they're my favorite. I will read pretty much anything. There are a few genres that I don't really touch. Not gonna lie, not a fan of erotica. It's a little bit weird for me. But otherwise, I will try almost anything. I have picked out 5 genres in particular that are my favourites. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to them. Talk to them. Okay, I'm gonna talk to genres today, guys. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna talk to you about why they're my favourite genres. So that was a ridiculously long intro. Let's start. My first one, of course, is classics. I love classics. I started reading them when I was about 15. The first one I read was The Great Gatsby, and I hated it. I just thought it was the most stupid thing ever. But I started studying literature that year, and I'd picked to do lit thinking that we'd get to read all these classics. I wanted to read more Shakespeare. We'd read a little bit of Shakespeare in middle school. But we'd studied Romeo and Juliet twice, and I just wanted something different. We didn't really do too many classics in lit, actually. But I just kept pushing myself to read them, even though after my bad experience with The Great Gatsby. And then I fell in love with them, and funnily enough, maybe 2-3 years later, I did reread The Great Gatsby and loved it the second time around, because I was old enough to appreciate the story, and I'd read some more classics and I sort of knew what to expect. And I am going to do a video later on in a couple of days, about the books I think you should read in these particular genres / kind of my favourites. So I won't talk about too much particular books in this one, but yes, classics are great, and I know a lot of people in the booktube community aren't too fussed on classics. I know the vast majority of people, at least that I follow, primarily read YA. And that's great, and I love YA too, but I think that you don't just say I will never read a classic just because it's a classic, because most of them, not all of them, most of them you read and you can see they're a classic for a reason. So my next one is mystery and crime. My favourite author probably of all time, well, she's definitely up there, is Agatha Christie. And I talk about her a lot, and I just really love her stuff. So yeah, I think I was about the same age, 15 or 16. I read my first Agatha Christie book, fell in love, and I haven't stopped since. But my love for the mystery crime genre actually goes way back. Back in primary school, I used to read Nancy Drew from the library, and they were my favourite books for a while there. So I've just kind of like always loved mysteries. I don't know why. I guess I kind of like the suspense and like the surprise. I'm not very good at picking who did it. So that's why I like it so much, because I don't even try to pick who did it. I like being surprised, I guess. I can't really put it any other way. I like being like, wow, I did not see that one coming. Even when I have picked, especially with Agatha Christie, I'm never right. Like, she just like twists and crisscrosses it, and I'm like, what is happening? Yeah, and I really like that for some reason. Next one is contemporary, and more specifically YA contemporary. I know it can get a bit of a bad rep sometimes, but I do love contemporary. I did Michelle and I did host Book and Dine. We did that last year and we did it this year, although we didn't do it on BookTube this year. So we both really like contemporary. I just like the lightness of it most of the time. Sometimes after reading like really heavy fantasy books or something like that, I just need a contemporary to, even if it's about serious topics, like if it deals with mental illness or something, I just feel, I don't know, relaxed with YA contemporary. It's probably one of my most read genres, not even on purpose, I just pick them up. There's a lot of Love Oz YA that is YA. Of course it's YA. It's called Love Oz YA, Ellie. That is contemporary, and I really like reading and supporting Australian authors, so I read a lot of Aussie contemporaries and I like them. Yes, next one is fantasy / sci-fi, and I put them together because I feel like they can sort of like overlap a lot and mix together, and I couldn't pick one that I liked more than the other, and I wanted to only have 5 genres. So yeah, I do really like fantasy sci-fi. I was a huge fan of Doctor Who between the ages of about 13 and say 18 maybe. I'm not a huge fan of Peter Capaldi or Matt Smith, to be honest. My Doctor was was always and will always be David Tennant. But I used to love, I still do, I still rewatch his episodes and just cry a lot. But yeah, that sort of like translated into me picking up a lot of sci-fi books, and then that sort of translated into me picking up fantasy. Obviously, I mean not obviously, I grew up reading Harry Potter. I know quite a few people didn't, but I did. And I also really like the Narnia movies. I hadn't read the books until last year, maybe the year before, but I loved the movies, so I started looking for fantasy. Yeah, and that's where it went from there. And my last one is historical. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm sure at some point in my videos I will hold up a historical book, most likely World War II, because that's my favourite thing to read about. I do also really like reading about World War One, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the 1920s. I will give anything a go. I might not necessarily enjoy it, but you know, I'll try. There we go, those are my favourite genres. So this is part 1 in a 3-part series, kind of, that I'm doing here. So this is the first part, obviously. The second part, I'm going to be talking about the books that I most want to, the books that I most want you to read in each genre. So that will be a separate video for each genre, but I will upload 2 at a time maybe, so that this series doesn't go on forever. Or maybe I'll mix 2 together. I haven't filmed the videos yet, so I don't know how long they're going to be and how much I'll ramble, but we'll see. And then I'm also going to be talking about the books I most want to read in those particular genres, so my TBR for each genre, if you will, and we'll just see how this series goes. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.